Back with us on the SportsMax Zone, a cricket segment now, but just to update you on some football, the UEFA Nations League game scheduled for today between Switzerland and the Ukraine in Switzerland, that was cancelled, Mariah, because the authorities said that there was an outbreak of COVID-19 within the Ukraine camp. 7 Ukrainian players, Tina Best, on the eve of that game against Switzerland, testing positive for COVID-19. And the organizers said, no, we're not going ahead with this game. So they've placed the entire Ukraine contingent in a bubble, in a safe space, and they're trying to get them back to wherever they need to be. But they said no football will be played. That's a kind of news that's not surprising in these times.
Not good at all, because I know when I was doing the Zone updates, I actually did a story about the amount of footballers being tested positive for COVID-19. Look, our very own Reggae Boys, a lot of players, missing right now in the games because of COVID-19 behaving bad.
The authorities did the right thing, you think, Tino? Pull the plug on the game?
Yeah, for sure. You don't want to get berserk and lead to the next team, and then you have maybe they start. Remember, COVID, one person can infect 700 people, something crazy like that. So it just got to show that once you take this once you have a issue or one person tested positive, you got to shut down the whole facility. Like what is happening in the NFL, you got to shut down facilities. You got to make sure guys are put in quarantine and stuff. This is a very serious thing, and I just hope that the athletes around the world who are traveling and who have to carry on playing sports, that they take it real serious. I think that guys are a bit lackadaisical as well with it. And I just think that they need to really get serious and take care of themselves. Because at the end of the day, COVID is a 97% recovery rate if you're an athlete. But, you don't know who you might infect and might have an underlying issue. So you got to be careful as an athlete, and you have to take it very serious.
Solid point. All right, cricket now. The England and Wales Cricket Board, ECB, has been rocked by fresh allegations of institutionalized racism. In case you're wondering, institutionalized racism, you use the term, you hear the term, and they move on from it. I'll define it for you. It is the systemic provision of resources, or the systemic provision of resources, power, and opportunity to benefit members of society who are white at the exclusion of members of society who are non-white. That's what institutionalized racism is. That's what the ECB has been accused of. This time, that accusation is coming from 2 former umpires, John Holder and Ismail Dawood. Both men want an inquiry into the lack of match officials from ethnic minorities working in the English game. They have called for a probe by Britain's Equality and Human Rights Commission. Holder was born in Barbados and played first-class cricket for Hampshire. After retirement, he qualified as an umpire in 1983. He stood in 11 tests and 19 one-day internationals before ending his 27-year umpiring career in 2009. Now, according to Holder, he wrote to the ECB volunteering to be a mentor in the game. He says he's yet to get a response. He added this, quote, "Several non-white umpires have made inquiries about going on the first-class umpires panel or becoming a mentor or liaison officer, and none, not one, have progressed, according to John Holder." Now, Dawood says he heard racist language being used unchallenged in front of senior ECB staff. Dawood, who played county cricket for Worcestershire, Glamorgan and Yorkshire before becoming an umpire, said he had absolutely no trust or confidence in the ECB, adding that the organization is a complete mess. Well, the suits who run the ECB, they were swift to issue this response. It said, "Earlier this year, we commissioned a full independent employment investigation into allegations made against an individual, and while these were not upheld, the investigation did identify areas where we need to be better and do more to be inclusive and diverse." It continues, "The ECB has now commissioned a review with board oversight to look at how we can reform our approach to managing match officials." It says this will set out actions as to how we can improve our systems and processes to increase the diversity of umpiring, inspire the next generation of umpires and match referees, have a world-class umpiring program, and ensure a culture of inclusivity and fairness throughout the umpiring system. Tina Best, I lay this one squarely at your feet. John Holder, I don't know if you came across him in your playing days or if you know the man any at all, but himself and Ismail Dawood are saying the ECB, it is a racist organization. it is built to be racist. It is presided over by people who will maintain that status quo, and that status quo has to change. Your perspective?
Yeah, when you talk about umpire holder, I remember him umpiring in a cricket game, an international game, England maybe against Pakistan. I can't remember who it was, but it was an international game. And he reported, I think either the England captain or maybe it was Graham Gooch, maybe it was Alan Lam, it was Mike Atherton, someone he reported for ball tampering. And from that day he has been blacklisted. If it was an umpire or a white umpire, I don't think that the umpire will be blacklisted. But it's easy to blacklist a black umpire.
Yes.
So I think what he's right on. And when you look at the response and the statement by the ECB, Mariah and George, I mean it's cockiness. You can see like we can think we can check on it, but whatever we think that we need to improve on this area, the next area and stuff. It's not much that's being done, and it's being run by old heads who don't want to give up power, and nothing is going to change with the cricket. You got a big case there in Yorkshire with Azim Rafiq and those Yorkshire boys. I sit down in the dressing room and see them guys near to tears because of how they were treated from since they were playing youth cricket coming up to the Yorkshire system. So I'm not sure if it's going to change anytime soon. All you can do is keep banging, keep making requests, keep arguing our point about inclusion and equality for all. And look, I hope it changes one day. But John is absolutely right. Mr. Holder is absolutely right. It's institutionalized and is in their core. They don't even know when they're being racially diabolical to someone. It is just in his DNA. It is normal to them. It comes like breathing. So I don't know what to say, George and Mariah. I just hope it change. I hope we get a little bit more inclusion and people are given more opportunities. And not only men, women as well. I always believe that women, the cricket needs a lot more women being included in executive positions. And women think differently. I think women in cricket is tremendous and they need inclusion for everyone.
Definitely, Tino. Well, racism as it is already awful. The fact that there would be systems in place, of course, structure to ensure that it continues is even worse than we can even imagine. What I think is the only positive we can find from this situation, or the only silver lining, is the fact that people like Holder and Dawood could now come out. They feel confident enough. I mean, it may have been years after, but they feel confident enough to even speak out about the topic, and that just shows that we're moving in the right direction. So I feel like if more people were to come out and, of course, give their version of what happened to them and feel confident enough to share their story, maybe it can in some way or the other impact other people and push the force forward, of course, force them. They would have no other choice but to do something about it if we all spoke up.
Yeah, Tino, when you went into go ahead.
Yeah, and just coming back to Mariah's point.
Yeah.
When he wanted to stand up and fight for it, with the whole ball tampering situation when he was umpiring the test match.
Right.
They blacklisted him. Who is John Holder, this black guy from Barbados coming to England? We give him an opportunity.
Yeah.
And he wants to embarrass the leader of England cricket team. But I mean, fair is fair. And if it was Daryl Harper or someone else, it would be cool. I remember Daryl Harper in Australia calling Mulitharan for chucking. And he keep calling Mulitharan. And he was actually the standing umpire, not even like the square leg umpire. And have you ever seen a white cricketer being called? You don't see it. You don't see, maybe they get a report, but they don't get embarrassed the way that people of color get embarrassed
Right.
on the world stage. So I hope that one day it change, but let's keep banging,
Tino,
let's keep shouting and using our voices.
Tino, that was then, and this is now. Of course, we're in a different climate, and the force is much stronger. So I feel like now a lot of people are more confident to speak up. So it's a different time.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I thought you would have referenced, I thought when I heard you going into the historical, the background of John Holder, I thought you were going to go to something that happened significantly in his career. In 1993, there was an ODI being played in Sharjah between Sri Lanka and Pakistan. And he reported, actually it was an interview during one of the breaks with Jonathan Agnew when he reported, John Holder did, that he had been approached by a man on the eve of the game and offered $10,000 to ensure that the Sri Lankan third wicket partnership made at least 85 runs. And he said to the man, are you crazy? Then if I do that, what happens to me after? If I take this money, no. What happens to my integrity? What happens? I've been looking over my shoulder wondering if you told somebody and somebody told somebody. So this is a man clearly of integrity, and he reported that. I say that to say, Tino, as we wrap up the point. Do you notice that the ECB's lengthy statement, words, rather verbose, there was nothing in it that the ECB could say to say, well, this is what we have done to address institutional racism. This is what we did to address institutional racism. And these are the things specifically, 1, 2, 3, 4, that we have planned. All they did, they engaged their PR machinery and somebody just typed out some words. And it's a disgrace, Tina Best.
Yeah, that's the English for you, brother.
Not sincere at all. Not sincere.
Not sincere.
Yep. All right, we're out of time. Break time. More of these.